Okay, Rabbi say. Today we're going to get started with the concept of birthdays. Is birthdays a Jewish thing or not? Let's get started. Let's get involved. Let's look into it. I'm giving this shiur on birthdays. L'chvoid, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, after being married for 10 years, they had a baby girl this week. So l'chvoid, the simcha, and also it's my son's birthday was a couple days ago. My daughter's birthday is in a couple days. So putting it all together, we got a birthday season. So let's try to understand, is it a Yiddish zach, is it a Jewish thing, or is it from the Goyim? What are our sources? So as many know, in the Torah, in the Chamisha Chumshei Torah, there's only one mention of birthdays, and that is, as everybody knows, the birthday of Parai. So, we see that there's such a concept of birthdays, we see it exists, but that doesn't exactly prove that it is a Jewish thing. Now, there's a Yerushalmi that in Rosh Hashanah that quotes Reb Shua ben Levi, says that by Amalek, you know who they put in the front lines to fight the Yidden? They put the birthday boys. Why the birthday boys? Chaval to die on your birthday. No, you're not going to die, because the birthday boys have the best mazel. So Amalek put the birthday boys up to fight the Yidden. You know what Moshe Rabbeinu did? He switched around the mazolis, and Memela were able to destroy Amalek. So what do we see from this story? We see this concept of having good mazel on your birthday. We also see, and we see it's not just that Amalek believed it. We see Moshe Rabbeinu believed that it was such a thing as well. He didn't just say shtuyot. He actually went and changed around the mazolis. So we see there's a concept of having a good mazel on your birthday. But so far, we've only seen it in Goyim. We have yet to see it by Yidden. Now, there's Mishnah and Avodah Zarah, Perek Aleph, Mishnah Gimel, which discusses that there are certain days, there might be a isurim with giving presents or doing business with Goyim before their holidays. And on the list of the holidays is Yom Genusa and Yom Leida. Now there's multiple pshatim to what that means, Yom Genusa and Yom Leida. One of the pshatim is that Yom Genusa is referring to the birthday of the king, and Yom Leida is each individual person's birthday. That was like a Avodah Zarah Dika Yom Tov for the Goyim of that time. So we see, at least at that point, we see the Goyim, they celebrated this concept of a birthday. But once again, that doesn't show us anything about a Jewish custom, but it shows it certainly was a Goyish custom. It doesn't prove that it wasn't Jewish, but it proves that there was a Goyish custom of birthdays at the time of the Mishnah and Avodah Zarah. Okay, there's in Tehillim, Kapitel Beis, it says, David HaMelech, Ani Hayoim Yilati, Hashem talking to David HaMelech, so to speak, Ani Hayoim Yilaticha, Shol Mimeni Vetna. That, today's the day you were born, so to speak, ask from me and I'll give you. So, some say that is referring to David HaMelech's actual birthday, and that day, David HaMelech would have a special koyach of davening, a special koyach that he'll be able to have his tefillos answered. Now, I actually looked around the Mefarshim. The first couple, I didn't do, there's like 30 Mefarshim on Tehillim, so I didn't check out them all. I just checked out, some of the basic ones, Rashi, and I didn't really see that that's what it seemed to be, the explanation of what was going on. That was actually really referring to David HaMelech's birthday, etc. That didn't seem to be the Pashup shot. I'm sure there's somebody that says it. The couple different Mefarshim explain it differently, whichever the exact shot is. But Lamaisa, it didn't seem to be the shot that was blurting out from every Rishon as to what's going on there. And once again, Sefer Tehillim is very cryptic and vague sometimes. So in terms of what it is referring to. Okay, Beseda. So it is definitely a potential source. I'm sure there's a Mefarsh that does say that's what it means, because I could totally read the words to say that's what it means. So I'm sure somebody does say it. I happen to, in my quick search, not find it. Okay, now, what else do we have? So we have the Medrash Seichel Tov. So there's a Medrash that says, Roiv b'nei Adam mechavivim yoim hanoiled v'semachtem boi v'oisem mishpat. So most people, this seems very clear. Most people love their birthday. It's a happy day. They make a whole to do out of their birthday. So seemingly that might be a source of it being a Jewish thing. However, if you're familiar with the wording and the lashonis of Chazal, often the term B'nai Adam is not a reference to Jews. B'nai Adam is like humans, so to speak. So B'nai Adam is often actually a term specifically not connotating Yidden, but connotating mankind as mankind overall. And therefore, if that is the connotation, then it wouldn't be a proof. It's not absolute, it's not always that that's what it means. So it's a little bit unclear from this medrash, but it's definitely not a proof that it's a Jewish thing. It's unclear whether it means Roiv Jews or Roiv people, humanity at large, do something nice for their birthday. Okay, there is a pasuk in Hosea that says Yoim Malkeinu, and the Mesudas David explaining what is that Yoim Malkeinu, the day of our king. That was the king's birthday. And this pasuk is certainly referring to a Jewish king. So therefore we certainly see that in Hosea, based on the way that the Mesudas David explains, there was a concept of celebrating the Jewish king's birthday. So this is pretty clear that this is a Jewish celebration, and we've gotten our first pretty unbreakable raya of a Jewish birthday celebration. But once again, this birthday celebration we see as a king. We don't see this yet in terms of the Hamonam, in terms of the general populace. But we do see in terms of the king. Okay, let's see if we can get any better, any closer. On Rosh Hashanah, when we daven, we say, Hayoim Aras Olam. We celebrate seemingly, or we at least acknowledge, it's the birthday of the world. But once again, l'chayr, that's not a raya to anything much. That means that we celebrate the birthday of the world. That doesn't necessarily mean that we celebrate the birthday of man. And even that's not necessarily a celebration. It might be more of an acknowledgement. So unclear if it's exactly a celebration. It's the day that man was created. No, so you could say mankind. You're right. I was thinking about that because even though we use the term olam, what day was it? It's not really connected to the first day of the world. It's the sixth day of creation when man was created. So at least that's a good point. I like that point, and that would be at least a raya that we celebrate mankind as a whole, but that doesn't prove the individual man as of yet. Okay, let's see. Maybe we could get closer. Maybe we could do better. Chazal discuss the birthday of Mashiach. When's going to be the birthday of Mashiach? Will be on Tisha B'Av, will be, etc. So we look forward to the birthday of Mashiach. Well, that doesn't prove much either, because that's not referring to his annual birthday. That's referring to when we look forward to when we're excited by the fact that he actually will be born. But it's not looking backwards into the future. Okay, here's a clear source that we see, a very authoritative figure celebrating a birthday. There's a Gemara Ma'id Katan that Rabbi Yosef, he made a Yom Tov L'Rabbanan on his 60th birthday. Why? What's pshat on the 60th birthday? Because this was a raya, as the Mepharshim explained, this was a raya that he was not over the Isser Karas. Because one of the punishments of Karas, the main punishment of Karas, is you will not live to the age of 60. Now that Rabbi Yosef made it to 60, so he made a Yom Tov L'Rabbanan, he made a Suda, a bash, because he made it to 60, so his 60th birthday party. Now, this seems to be a rock-solid raya of a Makar to make a 60th birthday party. But it doesn't really prove much about other birthdays, because the 60th birthday is special. It proves you didn't get Kars. But any other birthday, seemingly, you cannot prove from the story, but we definitely could prove the 60th birthday. Okay, there's a rush in Nazir that says that the day that Moshe was born is the day of Mishta V'Simcha. It's like a Yontif, the day that Moshe was born. I think was it Vav Adar, Zayin Adar? Zayin Adar? So Zayin Adar, the day that Moshe Rabbeinu was born. Moshe Fancy also?
That's how I know.
Ah.
Yortzeit.
Well, Moshe Rabbeinu was his birthday and his Yortzeit. Exactly. Fun. Very good Geshmak. So Zayin Adar, the day that Moshe Rabbeinu was born, is the day of Mishta V'Simcha. Happens to be, I don't know, it doesn't seem to be that this was the minhag. This was never Makabel and Klal Yisrael. I don't know. Is there some Hasidus that does something like this? I wonder if there's a Hasidus that does like a big throws down a mad tish for Moshe Rabbeinu's birthday. Is there a thing?
For the birthday,
But I'm saying that the Russian Nazir says they would make a Yoim Simcha Mishta for his birthday. But I never heard of such a thing. It doesn't seem to be the minhag. There's somebody out there that's doing it.
Yartzites.
Yeah, but the focus is not the yahrzeit even on the same day. But the Russian Nazir, if it's yahrzeit, then I have no rayas. It doesn't help us. I'm looking for a birthday party. So the Maisa is, there is a Russian Nazir, but it doesn't seem to be the minhag. Okay, so let's just recap a little bit what we said so far. From Chazal, we see that birthdays of non-Jewish kings were definitely celebrated. We see from the Gemara in Avodah Zarah that at some point in history, non-Jews definitely celebrated their birthdays. We see that the Jewish king's birthday at certain times, at least, now we don't know about always, but at certain times, the Jewish king's birthday was a celebration. We see that Moshe Rabbeinu's birthday was a celebration, but that doesn't prove the Hamonam. We see that Amalek had better mazel on their birthday, and we see that Rabbi Yosef celebrated his 60th birthday. Now, Lamaisa, what do we do? That's Chazal. What do we do in the Zman Achronim? So, the Minchas Elazar, the Munkat Rav, says we never celebrated birthdays. We don't have a minhag of celebrated birthdays. We never celebrated birthdays. Why would we celebrate a birthday? He asks. There's a Gemara where Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel have a machlokes. Is it better for us to have been created, to be born, or is it better for us to not to have been born? And after 2.5 years of going back and forth, they came to an agreement that it would be better for man not to be born. So Zak, the Minchas Elazar, the Munkat Rav, and he says, if it was a bad thing for us to be born, however you understand that, there's a lot of pshatim in this Gemara, but if it's better for us not to have been born, what are you celebrating? There's nothing to celebrate. We don't celebrate birthdays, not a Jewish thing. It's a bad thing that we were born, and therefore we don't celebrate birthdays. And the reason that it's explained why it's a bad thing, the most basic pshat, is that we have 248 mitzvahs, and we have 365 averos. Let's face it, guys, the odds are against us. And if the odds are against us, who needs to be born into a matzah where the odds are against you? It's a bad thing to have been born. Something ironic, by the way, is that if you use that logic, then for Goyim, it's good to be born. Because Goyim actually have more mitzvahs than Averis. So using that logic, it's bad for the Jew to be born, good for the Goy to be born. It's interesting. Okay. Now, the Arugas Boisim says that celebrating birthdays is a foolish minhag. Reb Chaim Kanievsky, he quotes the Aderes as saying that we only find Pari's birthday in the Chumash, and it's not a Jewish thing, and having a Suda is a Suda's Pari. That's what Reb Chaim Kanievsky says. Reb Moshe Sternbach says we don't have birthdays in Yiddishkeit. Somebody told me, maybe Rose, maybe you might have an idea. Somebody told me, even though he wrote this in his Sefer, and he said this in Yerushalayim, somebody told me in South Africa, he said they could celebrate birthdays. I don't know if you know, if that's Nispel. I don't know. Somebody told me that even though that was his official stance, that was the stance for the General Am. But in South Africa, he was all good for it. Yeah, I don't know. That's what I heard. Okay. Rav Nosson Gestetner was against birthdays. Mitzad Sheni. Let's try to brighten up the spirits a little bit over here. There's the Gemara in Brachas that we quote this by the Seder, where Rabbi Elizabeth Azariah says, Hayoim ani kiben shivim shana. Even though he was 18 years old, he said, today I'm like a 70-year-old. The Ben Yoyada explains, what's this Hayoim, today? So the Ben Yoyada says Hayoim because it was his 18th birthday. And since it was his birthday, it was a day that with good mazel, and it was a day that it's more likely for Nisim to happen. And this Nes, that all of a sudden that Elazar Azariah looked like a 70-year-old, even though he was only 18, it happened to him because it was his 18th birthday. It was a day that's mesugal for Nisim. The Ksav Sefer, he made a siyum on his Psachim, a big siyum Psachim on his 50th birthday, and he made a Shechianu that he got to 50. The Ksav Sofer as well, he said you should make a Cheshbon HaNefesh on your birthday. It's your birthday, time to make a Cheshbon HaNefesh. How did you do the past year? It's a time to check out your last year. The Chav Shiur, he made a Suda on his 70th birthday. And he made a Shechianu, that he got to 70. But he happened to point out it's not a Suda's mitzvah. The Kaf HaChaim also made a Suda with the Shechianu on his 70th birthday. The Chida, he said you should make the Suda and the Shechianu on the 70th birthday, but make it without the Shem Malchus. He said, a good idea is to get a new fruit for your 70th birthday, make the Shechianu and have in mind the new fruit and the birthday. The Tzitz Eliezer says the same thing, 70th birthday, new fruit, Shechianu like that. We get. I don't get it from Nachman. I got the Lubavitcher Rebbe.
You have Reb Nachman?
I don't get it. I don't know. Nachman said birthday is a big deal.
It says, Hayayim by Nevadas, Hu Hayayim by Hachavet Kadosh Baruch Hu, Sha'elam Eni Yachu Eskayim.
Okay, so famous from Nachman, I've heard this before, now that you mentioned. Your birthday is the day when you acknowledge that HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, the world, Dr. Nachman, the world can't go on without you. This is the day you were created. That's a big simcha. I didn't expect anything less from Rav Nachman. Okay, the Ginzei Yosef. I don't even know who the Ginzei Yosef is, but he said that one should get a new fruit and make a Shechianu every year on his birthday. Nice, and okay. Reb Shmuel Salat, when he had his 70th birthday in Yerushalayim of old, they made a big party for his birthday. And when he had his 80th birthday, they made a big party for his 80th birthday. On his 70th birthday, he gave 70 coins to tzedakah. On his 80th birthday, Reb Shmuel Salat gave 80 coins to tzedakah. Reb Yosef Chaim Zonnefeld, also in Yerushalayim of old, made a big bash for his birthday as well. The Chavetz Chaim, for his 70th birthday, he invited in Rebbe Chanan and the Panovich Rav. They had a l'chaim and some cake. L'chayra, working with the pshat of Yontav L'Rabbanan. As we see that Rav Yosef made a Yontav L'Rabbanan, so the Chavetz Chaim figured, who's my Yontav L'Rabbanan? He called in the Panovich Rav and Rebbe Chanan. On the Chavetz Chaim's 90th birthday, he made a siyum on he completed a sefer, and he made a big suda, and he said a shechianu. So he was doing it 2 in 1. L'chayra, the Chavetz Chaim, he felt that on a birthday that wasn't enough to make a shechianu and a big suda, so he decided to make it together, his new sefer and his birthday, to throw it 2 in 1 and be able to have that birthday, that shechianu. Reb Nassan Adler, the Rebbe of the Chassam Sofer, so he made a big party for his mother's 80th birthday. So something that's a big riot. I don't think it's such a big riot because it doesn't prove that he held of the 80th birthday necessarily. It proves that his mother held of the 80th birthday, and maybe he's just doing kibbutz. I don't know, but he probably did hold of it. Okay.
What's the con?
Oh, we'll get there. Don't worry, it's coming. So
What's the con? You need somebody to feel good?
we'll get there. The Ben Ish Chai says that some celebrate birthdays, and that is our minhag. And the Ben Ish Chai also brings the minhag of some celebrate their Yom HaBris, the, so to speak, anniversary of the day of their bris, 8 days or 7 days, whatever you want to call it, after their,
Where's the Ben Ish Chai?
after their, I don't remember where it is, I saw it, I could find it, but they would celebrate, after their day of the bris, and he said that is a nice minhag. Rabbi Vadia said that if you say Divrei Torah by your Suda's birthday, then it is a Suda's mitzvah. So we see definitely in the Sephardi world there is more solid basis so far and background in birthdays. Rabbi Tzadok and the Chida said there's a special mazel on your birthday. Rabbi Eli Lapian said it's a special day for tefillas. The Kleshnitzer, he said this idea, which has become popular in recent years, that you can give, you have a special koyach of giving brachas on your birthday. It's not like the Kleshnitzer Magid. It's not the strongest source in the world, but whatever. A Jew could give brachas. We'll see that in a second. Okay, the Tiferes Yisrael, on the side of the Mishnayos, he wrote in his tzava that whenever his children have a birthday, the other children should should write letters of brachos should write letters. I don't know brachos, but should write letters to the child, to the one whose birthday it is. So that's a birthday letter, birthday card.
And then the guns over here, that's the minute.
Uh-huh.
We'll go around.
Yeah, correct. Very good. So let's. I can't forget the Bavitcher Rebbe. The Bavitcher Rebbe made a very big deal out of people's birthdays. He said, on your birthday you should get an aliyah. On your birthday you should give tzedakah. On your birthday you should celebrate with your family. On your birthday you should learn more. And that's our minhag, very, very strongly. Okay, so let's put things together and put things in perspective. So from everything that we discussed so far, it seems that in most of Jewish history, most people did not celebrate birthdays. That seems to be the historical history to everything. Now, there are strong sources to celebrate the milestone birthdays. The 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, there are more sources. And by the way, one thing that I forgot to mention from Ravadia, he said there's a big inyan of celebrating the birthdays once people get older. And I think they say it's not written from Rav Moshe, but I heard quoted from Rav Moshe that Rav Moshe also held anything over 70 you should celebrate, because that's already something special that this person grew to this ripe old age, and therefore that requires celebration. Yes, so I didn't really find it anywhere, but yeah, maybe. I mean, you know the pshat in the 83-second bar mitzvah, because it says the days of man are 70 years, so you finished one lifetime, and now it's like your bar mitzvah of your second lifetime. Fine. Now, there are some sources of a birthday being a day of mazel, as we discussed, and perhaps it has a special koyach of tefillah or bracha. Now, this concept of birthdays probably entered our circles based on Goyish influence, l'maisa. The Goyim celebrated birthdays, and we continued. Now, the question therefore arises: does it create an isser of celebrating birthdays, because there's a concept of b'chukaseim lo yiselechu? You're not supposed to follow Goyish customs, and if simply b'pashtus this was a Goyish concept that brought into our society, perhaps it should be usher to celebrate birthdays. But the answer is no, that it would not be usher to celebrate birthdays, because the isser b'chukaseim lo yiselechu, it's only an isser if what you're doing, the Goyish custom, is based in either pritzas, or it's something that has no logical explanation. Like, for example, once upon a time they didn't wear pants. They just wore long robes. The Goyim brought in pants, and now we wear pants. Is it Isser B'Kukaseyim? No, because pants make sense. Once upon a time, pizza was an Italian food. They didn't make pizza in the Haim. Now we eat pizza. Is that an issue of b'chukasem l'isleichu? No. Why not? Because pizza tastes good. We're not doing it because the Goyim ate pizza.
What is an example?
Huh?
What is an example?
I got you. You'll see it soon. So, but when it comes,
Pants?
huh?
Tight pants?
No, it's fine. But when it comes to birthdays, I think that it's a pretty reasonable idea. We have a Kar Satoiv, that Hashem gave us another year. We celebrate that we had another year in life. That's something to celebrate. I think that's reasonable. And therefore, even though it's not a specifically Jewish thing with a specific Jewish history, I don't think there's any problem of b'chukaseyim. I don't think it's a problem of following that minhag, so to speak. Now, l'maisa, how do we celebrate? So I am definitely mater anybody that wants to make a cheshbon nefesh on their birthday. We could definitely be matter that. And if anybody wants to thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu for giving them a year of life, HaKar Satayv to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we're definitely going to be matter that as well. If anybody wants to give brachas out on their birthday, so whether there's a great source for it or not, tzarchian, but l'maisa, birchas hedyot shouldn't be light in your eyes, so give brachas, why not? How about having a festive meal? So having a festive meal, if you're having a festive meal because you want to be makar toiv to HaKadosh Baruch Hu for giving you another year, great, why not? And if you want to have a festive meal because you want to make somebody feel good and make somebody feel special by making them a festive meal, why not? I have no problem with that either. Okay. Now what else? What about having birthday candles? Make a wish. Blow out those candles. A lot of us have never stopped to think about that for a second, but what are you doing? What's that about? Why are you putting candles on a cake? Why are you making a wish? Why are you blowing out candles? Now, before you even investigate, blowing out a candle does not exactly sound like such a Jewish zach. I'm not saying I'm not saying all Jews are makbid on this, but a lot of from people are makbid that we don't blow out candles. It's like blowing out the neshama, Kabbalah. I don't know exactly what the deal with it is, but we don't blow out candles. A lot of people don't blow out candles. What is the source? So you don't have to look too far. You could look online. You'll do a little research for 3 minutes, and you'll find what's the source of birthday candles. And blowing it out, and so birthday candles are supposed to illuminate like the moon as a tribute to the moon god, and then you make a wish, you make a tefillah to the moon god, you blow out the candles so the smoke could take your wish and your tefillah up to the god of the moon. For real. Now it's true nowadays that's not anybody's kavanah. And it's true, it's not even the goyim. The goyim don't have that kavanah nowadays, unless they happen to be, checked it up in Wikipedia, like I did. Or wherever I checked it up. I don't know whether it was Wikipedia or wherever else I found. But that's what I found when I looked online. So, it's definitely, we don't have a good shot in it. We don't have a good explanation for it. I mean, it's like shtick and trick and cool and whatever, but we don't have a good shot in it. So, is this an issue of b'chukasem le'salechu? I would say, yeah. This qualifies. There's no good reason for it, and then we even check it up, and it's based in Avodah Zarah. So I don't know. It doesn't sound so cool to me. So therefore, I think we should not be blowing out candles and definitely not making a wish. And blowing out candles, you could make a tefillah. It just it doesn't have to be part of the pagan ceremony. Yeah. Part of your Akar Satayv speech for, after your Cheshbon Nefesh. So, next, I was wondering about about the cake. What about having a cake? Is there a logic to, we dafka have a birthday cake? What about that?
Who you brought it?
Huh?
I don't know, I forget who you brought it from, but you have mezainis.
So I was thinking like this, that at first glance, I was getting a little scared. Why specifically do we have a birthday cake? But then after I thought about it a little bit more, and I realized, you know what? Cake is good. We don't need excuses to have cake. We don't need reasons. It makes a lot of sense. It's logical to have a good cake, and therefore I don't think that's an issue of b'chukasem le'salechu. It makes sense to have cake. We like cake. Then I saw, when I was looking up my moon goddess thing, they specifically made the cakes round as a tribute to the moon. And birthday cakes are generally round. So is there an issue for our birthday cake, which I was... so good, correct. So I was wondering, is there an issue for our birthday cakes to be round because they dafka made it round? And I was thinking it's, as Yehuda mentioned, I was thinking, it's not a problem because it's a normal shape to make a cake. It makes sense to make a round cake. If it was like we do trapezoid cakes or parallelogram cakes or pentagon cakes or something weird like that, then I would say, whoa, this is too weird. We can't do this. But, the cakes come in 3 shapes: round, square, rectangle. And each one is normal. So I don't think there's anything illogical or strange about a round cake. And Memela, I don't think that a round cake would be a problem at all. Then that got me thinking, what about birthday presents? This minhag of giving birthday presents. What is this based on? So there, when I started looking, I find the different sources. It's definitely an old minhag. They talk about the old Romans and the Greeks and all, whatever, the Egyptians, and all, old times giving it. Some sources said it was about warding off the demons that tried to attack on the birthday, but it seemed to be there was a little machlikas going on about that. So I'm not really sure exactly. Now, Huh?
There's a reason behind it.
Oh, so there's a reason behind it. What's the reason?
Makes somebody feel good. You want to give somebody a present.
Make somebody feel good. So this is exactly what I was debating
You
about.
give somebody something.
No, but
Definitely
the
the
whole thing of it is a good mazel, so you want to say,
No, but you always want. I always want to give my nephew and niece a present, but on Tuesday it's like, what do you?
exactly. Very good. Yehuda, you nailed it again. At first glance, I was thinking, why are you giving a present on the birth? Giving a present, we see lots of makaris and chazal for presents. The concept of giving presents is definitely a Jewish thing. All over the Torah. Yaakov sending presents to Esav, and sending stuff down to Mitzrayim, and we have presents around the chazal. And I think it's maybe it's not Matan Sicha, but we have presents. It existed. So it's definitely a Jewish concept. Not that it wasn't Goyish, but it's definitely a Jewish concept giving presents. But the question is there a logic of specifically giving presents on the birthday? It sounds like the Goyim, at least some of the Goyim, gave presents on the birthday to ward off demons. So, assuming that was the real shot. So is there any logic to give on the birthday? But then I was thinking, you know what? You give somebody a present, it makes them special. Makes them feel special. As Yehuda pointed out, it's kind of weird to just randomly on the Tuesday give the person a present. So this is a great designated day to make somebody feel good by giving them a present. And therefore, I think there is a logical element to giving a present on a birthday. And Mamela, I don't think it would be B'chuk HaSeim.
Samach Gimel, Abchir would always bring his wife presents.
Very good.
Samach Gimel Saigala.
Okay. So we have another Rav Chia, we give presents. I mean, we see it in the Lamaisa. We see lots of presents all over. And Lamaisa, I think we have enough Makaris for giving presents that we could taina that it's not an Isser B'chuk HaSeim L'Sleichu. However, I did not prove that it's a Jewish thing. It's not specifically a Jewish thing. I don't think it's against being a Jewish thing. I don't think there's a problem to give. It's not an Isser B'chusim L'Sleichu, but I haven't yet proved it's a Jewish thing. I did my little research today. I asked a Yerushalmi. I stopped at Yerushalmi, and I asked him, do the Yerushalmis do this whole birthday thing? He said, no. We don't do any of this birthday stuff. No birthday presents, no birthday celebrations. We don't do any of that type of stuff. That's a Goyish Azach. So that's what I was expecting that, but I stopped the Yerushalmi to ask him because I was curious. And once again, to conclude, pretty much everything is cool. Everything is okay. I don't think there's any of this stuff is usher, but it's not a Jewish azach, except when it comes to blowing out the candles and making a wish, or even lighting the candles in the first place. That is something that I would avoid, because it appears to me that it's very likely a isser of B'chuk HaSeim L'Sleichu. So everybody could enjoy their birthday, and for the husbands that want excuses not to give presents, I think I found it for you. Have a great week.